Alrighty, so today we're going to be having a look at simple interest. And this shouldn't be anything too different. All we're doing is we're applying it to a new context. So simple interest means that you are putting money into some kind of account, and every single year, usually a year, it will increase by a certain percentage. Now, in the case of a loan, that means that you're taking money out from a bank, for example, and the bank is increasing the loan by a fixed percentage every single year until you pay off the loan. In the case of a savings account, that means that you are putting money into the account and then over time it is gaining some value. But in this case, in a simple interest context, it means the amount it increases is fixed at the beginning rate. So where does the formula come from? Well, it's two steps. I equals PIN, where capital I is the interest. So that's the extra money that you've gotten in back, so that's in dollars. P is the principal, meaning the starting amount of money. Little I is the interest rate. It's the usual symbol we use to talk about a percentage. And then N is going to be number of years, although theoretically it could be different time periods depending on what the question's asking us for. But there's actually two different things that we could be asking for. That's the interest, but the interest is just the extra money you get. If you have an account, right, you put principal dollars, P dollars, into a bank. And the bank says, well, thank you for that. We'll give you a little bit of interest, right? We're going to give you a little bit of interest. So they put I dollars into the account. How much money do you now have? Well, you don't just have I dollars, you have I plus P dollars. And so we use a second formula to just say A equals P plus I, where A is the value of the account at the end. So we would often say that it is the future value of the account. So let's call it that. So it's the future value, including the interest, right? So it's fully inclusive. So let's have a look at a simple question. Alrighty, so Mary invests $3,600 into a savings account with 4% per annum simple interest. Calculate the interest for 6 years, calculate the interest for 150 days, and calculate the final balance for a 75-week investment. Okay, so in this question, we've been given a bit of information. So we know what P is for all of these questions. It's just $3,600. We know what the little I is, the interest rate. It's just 4%. But percentages should be written as 4 over 100, just for convenience. Or if you really like, you can write it as 0.04, but I like 4 over 100 is fine. But the major issue that we've got is it says calculate the interest for 6 years, 150 days, and for 75 weeks. So I guess we've got to talk about a few things. And the first thing is about time. So I'm just going to do a quick aside about time. In finance, we believe that in 1 year, there are 4 quarters, I guess 2 half years, but I'm not going to talk about that, 12 months, 26 fortnights, 52 weeks, and 365 days. Alrighty? Some of you might know that we don't always have 52 weeks in a year, we sometimes have 53, and some of you would also know that we don't always have 365 days. On leap years, we have 366. However, for finance, these are the conversions that we use to convert between years, months, quarters, fortnights, weeks, and days. Okay, so this is just to keep that in the back of your mind. These numbers are expected that you know. I'd hope that a lot of you would already know, 4 quarters, 12 months, 365 days, but if you need to remember 52 weeks and 26 fortnights, it is expected knowledge. The second thing is that there's another piece of terminology in here, PA. PA stands for per annum. And you go, well, what's the heck's an annum? Annum just means year. If you think of an anniversary or annual event, that means per year. So it's a yearly event, essentially. So you get 4% per year is essentially what PA stands for, is per year. It's a bit of a strange one. Alrighty, so let's go through and work through each of these questions. So for part A, it's just the simple interest. So we only need one formula, I equals PIN. And in this case, the N is going to be 6 years. Remember, N should be yearly because the interest rate is yearly. Since it's 4% per annum, then the N also needs to be in years. So I is equal to 3,600 times 4 over 100 times 6. And that's equal to $864. So therefore the interest after 6 years, $864. Let's have a look at B. So for B, I is equal to PIN, and N is going to be equal to 150 days. However, 150 days is not what we're after. We're after this in years. So since there are 365 days in a year, we can write this as 150 over 365 years. So we're converting from days into years. We don't need to work out what this is in the same way we don't need to work out what this is. The calculator can deal with the fractions for us. So I is equal to 3,600 times 4 over 100 times 150 over 365. And this is equal to 59.178, but we'll round that up to $18. Alrighty, so that's the interest you'd get after 150 days. And the last one, it says, it doesn't say calculate the interest, it says calculate the final balance. So whenever it asks you to calculate the final balance, we're also needing to do that second step where we add the interest to the principal. So we figure out how much is it worth in total. So let's do part C. So for part C, I is equal to PIN. I and P are staying the same, but N is now 75 weeks. That's the wrong units, so let's divide by 52 to convert it into years. So 75 over 52 years. And now we can substitute into the formula. So I is equal to 3,600 times 4 over 100 times 75 over 52. And that's equal to 207.692, which we're going to round down to 69. But that's not the end of the question, right? Because it asked for the final balance. So in order to work out the final balance, I need to use the second formula, A equals P plus I. We know what P is, it's 3,600. We just worked out what the interest was. It was $207.69. And that's going to leave us with $3,807.69. And that is the final investment, which makes a lot of sense, right? In the first question, we put in $3,600 and all we got back was $864. We didn't lose money. That's the extra, right? That's what interest is. Interest is extra money. In the second question, same thing. We started with $3,600, but we only got $59 back. Why? Because this is only the extra money. It's not losing the previous value. It's just that you have gained some extra money. So you can see for the third one, it makes perfect sense, right? You got an extra $207. So how much money do you have? Well, you have $3,600 plus the $207.69. Alrighty, so that's a little bit on simple interest. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.